Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 in my makeup collection series. Today I'm going to be showing you all of my blushes. We're going to run through, I'll point out some of my favorites, and I'll just show you what I have. If that sounds good to you, make sure you are subscribed because these videos are going to be going up every week and I have 6 of them. This is number 2. If you missed my face base collection, I can link that right here. That way you can kind of catch up with that one and then follow along. But I do also have a collection playlist that I have saved over the years. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking. I love makeup. I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of the K-Bella fam. But why don't we go ahead and start chatting about some blushes. Blushes. This is my single blush collection. I do have a couple blush palettes and I have a couple palettes with blushes in them, but because bronzers are one of my smaller category, we're going to talk about palettes with bronzers. But this here is my current blush collection, so let's go ahead, dive in. Again, I'm sorry I'm out of breath, but I'm pre-filming, so I'm still currently pregnant as I'm filming. But yeah, I'm going to reach up the ones that are further away and go through those, and I'll just let you know about all of my blushes. Let's start with this one here by Jouer. This is the Adore Blush Duo in Adore Me and Hold Me. Now you can see here, this one is popping up. I don't know if it's hot and humid Texas. I don't know if it's just over time. Normally when I press it back down, it'll stick for a little bit, but this one is technically a blush duo. You can see it here. It's like a beautiful pinky peach shade. It does kind of pull more of a satin on me, but you don't really see any shimmers, you don't see any flecks, you don't see anything like that. For some reason, I never find myself reaching for it. I find myself forgetting about it. I actually purchased this for Smags years ago when it was new, and she was like, oh, you'll love it, and I got it, and I loved it for a while. But I mean, you can still see the embossing and everything. For some reason, this makes it through every declutter, but I still just don't find myself using it. Next up, we have this blush by Sigma. I did get the Berry Love shade. I do love this shade. It is a super duper pigmented blush. I would be interested in trying some more Sigma blushes. This one is the matte formula, but they have some that are a sheen. I think I'd really like Tiger Lily, but overall, dip in lightly. A little bit goes a long way. It's super long wearing, and I really, really enjoy this one. Another blush that I enjoy that's super pigmented is this one by Melt. This is the Digital Dust Duo Blush in the shade Raw Honey. Now this one I technically use more, I would say, in the fall or winter time. This one there is a sheen. There's no specks of glitter. It's not going to be chunky or anything like that. I typically swirl the two together, but it does give me like a nice deeper mauve shade. Some people say it pulls cool toned on them. It doesn't really pull cool toned on me, but I love this one. It's super pigmented and it's a little bit deeper, so I wear it more in the fall and winter. I do have 2 MAC blushes. We have this one right here in Melba and this one right here in Mocha. I really do enjoy the MAC blushes. Melba is more of like a peachy shade. It doesn't pull very orange on me. It looks orange when you look at it, but it pulls more of like a peachy neutral shade, so I really, really enjoyed that one. Whereas Mocha, although I use Melba more, Mocha is more my color story. It's like a little bit of a mauve type shade. Both of these you can build up. They're super creamy. They're super blendable. They last a while. I don't give them as much love as I should, but I still really enjoy having them in my collection. Let's move to the ones that are further away. I do have two Vive blushes. Again, speaking of pigmented, these are very, very highly pigmented. The packaging is super luxurious. This one right here is the shade Piazza. It's a little bit deeper. I go in with a nice fluffy brush, and I'll kind of use this one more like toward the back of my cheekbones, where you would put a little bit more of a contour shade to kind of deepen up. And then I have this one, which is their lightest shade. This one is in Pesca, and this one still pulls pretty deep on me, although it's more of a peachy shade. So I'll go in with Piazza first and put it more toward the back of my cheeks, and then I'll put this one closer toward the apples of my cheeks. One of my newer blushes and great for every day is this one by Laura Mercier. This is in the shade Chai. I have heard Morgan Turner and Charlotte Holdcroft raving about these blushes. They don't look impressive in the pan. I looked at them in store, I swatched them, I was like, they're kind of light. I don't know that it's going to look like anything, but it's beautiful. Like I said, I have the shade Chai. It looks beautiful on the skin. It looks like more of a neutrally type of blush. I really want to get Ginger because I hear Morgan and Charlotte talk about that one as well. So don't be fooled by how basic it looks. It is still a really nice blush. And I forgot to mention the MACs are matte, the Vive is matte, and this one is a matte also. Then I have this one from Patrick Ta. This is one of the Double Take cream and powder blushes in She's Blushing. I didn't know how I was going to feel about this one because I don't love cream products. I should, dry skin, but I don't. But this one, you have a powder which has a little bit of a sheen to it. It's beautiful on its own. And then you have this cream product which is more matte, but when you go in with the powder first and take the cream and pat it on top, you get like a beautiful satin, almost glossy wet look, and I really, really love it. A lot of times when I'm in a hurry, I'll just reach in for the powder, but every now and then I will dip into the cream and kind of put that on top on the high points of my cheeks, and it looks really nice. I love this one. I have a confession to make. I've never tried this one. This is Makeup Geek Spellbound Blush. I purchased this one when Marlena announced that Makeup Geek was closing, and really I just purchased it because I had heard good things about their blushes in the past and never tried them out, and I wanted to try it out. So it's a pink shade. I can't speak to the pigmentation, the wear, or anything like that. It is matte, and I need to try it out. I have two Charlotte Tilbury blushes, these little saucers. They look like little alien saucers. This one is, you can see the name right there. It's one that Nicole Guerrero raved about years ago. You can see you have a lighter pink and a deeper mauvier pink in the middle. This one is matte. Swirl it together. I find these blushes to be a little bit less pigmented, making them very buildable, but I do have to go in with a couple layers to get the pigmentation, but they wear very, very nicely. I also do have the shade Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk is more of a satin finish. You can see there's a bit of a sheen there, but it's not chunky, it's not glittery. I just mixed the two shades together. Again, this one is buildable also. Speaking of Charlotte Tilbury, I do have her Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand Blush in the shade Peachgasm. I tried Smag's blush in Peachgasm and really enjoyed it. This is the only one that I have. It is a cream, very, very pigmented. A little bit goes a long way. I don't reach for it all the time, but I do like this when I have a little bit of extra time to blend my blush in. This one's a throwback, Benefit Rocketeur. I had this in my collection, decluttered it years ago, regretted it, went to repurchase it, could not find it anywhere. I'm pretty sure I found this particular one on either Nordstrom or Saks, but it was gone off the Benefit site and it was gone off of Ulta and Sephora. So I picked it up. I have not even touched it yet, but I remember loving this years ago. You can see there is a gold overlay, but when you do start using it, I remember the gold overlay goes away. But I remember this to be a beautiful rosy blush, and I wanted it back in my collection. If you're looking for a good nudie blush, I love this one by Kaleidos. This is Joyride. It doesn't have the name on it. I kept the packaging so that I would know. But this is the most neutral of the blushes. This one has great pigmentation. It is a matte. It goes on super creamy. You can build it up, but overall I get very good application upon first application. It's a lot of applications, but I do really enjoy this one. It goes great with any eye look, and the packaging is amazing. The only drugstore blush that I have is Essence The Blush. This is in the shade 10 Befitting, and honestly, I reach for my high-end blushes over this one. This is not a bad blush. It's very nice, actually. It gives me more of like a neutral satin finish. I have used it, but when it's this one or a high-end blush, I'm going to reach for a high-end blush. I just keep this one in my collection because it's my only drugstore blush. Next up, I do have a Becca saucer. Sadly, Becca is no longer around, but when they announced they were going under, I did purchase Flower Child. It is this beautiful shade right here. It's like pink with a little bit of a golden sheen in it. It looks very beautiful. This one is super pigmented and overall great quality, and so I'm glad that I picked this one up. One of my favorite blushes is by Buxom. This is in the shade Seychelles. This is one where, again, it looks underwhelming when you look at it. It really doesn't look like much, but it is just so beautiful on the skin. No chunks of glitter, no shimmer, but a nice sheen, a nice healthy glow on the skin, and it gives me like this beautiful nude mauve shade that looks gorgeous with any eye look. And the last single blush that I have to share with you is by Pat McGrath. This is in the shade Nymphette. I do not think you can get this one on Sephora. I purchased mine, oh, they're so hard to open, from the Pat McGrath website. I love this one because, again, it gives me more of a sheen. It's not a flat matte, but it's like a beautiful pinky mauve shade. This one is more buildable, and it just leaves a nice finish, and my skin looks healthy and glowy every time I wear it. I absolutely love it. But there you have it. Those are my single blushes. Like I said, I do have some blush palettes and blushes in palettes. That is going to be the next round next week when we talk about bronzers. So definitely make sure you are subscribed if you want to see my bronzer collection and more blushes. But if you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.